see fun. I see fun. The Diary of Jen Kirkman podcast.
I Seem Fun, the Diary of Jen Kirkman podcast episode. I'm recording the 185. Okay. They don't have to know that 184 is being recorded after this one. Who cares? This is a listener email episode. I answer all your questions and problems. I've got a lot of freaky listeners. It should be some good stuff. Subscribe on iTunes. Okay. Of course, I printed out like 50 pages, and they're not numbered. So just hold, please, while I do this. I have a lot of listener emails. Perfect. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do this. All right. Listener emails. That's this. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know what I did wrong. But I was so like, look how organized I am, Aaron. I'm back in the All Things Comedy studio. Go to allthingscomedy.com for all of your podcast needs. There are so many great podcasts on the network. Just make sure I'm still your favorite. But listen to all the other ones. Send me an email, iseemfun@gmail.com. I'm always doing those listener email episodes. I love to do them. You can send me something you want me to talk about. You can ask me a question. You can share something. The podcast started with the concept of tell me what you think is fun that other people don't find fun, and vice versa. And go to the Facebook page for I Seem Fun. Every episode is listed with details. Sometimes there's fun videos. That's facebook.com/I Seem Fun podcast. Follow the podcast on Twitter @I Seem Fun podcast. And if you want to tell your friends about I Seem Fun, there is the first ever I Seem Fun best of episode. It just came out a couple weeks ago. They can find that on iTunes. Go to iTunes, give this show 5 stars. And even if you don't listen on iTunes, will you subscribe on iTunes? I'm not in the top 100. I used to be in the top 100 all the time. And then I looked the other day, I'm not even in the top 200. And there's some shit ass podcasts in it. And so I don't know. Do you know why people's getting this is Aaron, and I'm just going to with my problems now.
Generally speaking, newer shows will get ranked higher because they are acquiring subscribers at a faster rate than people who have been around.
Right, so it's like...
And they're also getting new reviews because they've been around.
Oh, so it's the number of people that subscribe that week.
New subscribers and new reviews.
Okay, so guys, give me a review, you motherfucks.
The only problem with that, too, is if you've already written a review, you can't write a new one.
Oh, okay. Well,
unless you open a new account with iTunes.
No, tell your friends to write a review. I've never written a review of a podcast I like. Here's
what I would do. You have a friend who has an iPhone. Grab it. Subscribe to I Seem Fun on their phone, and then just put it back.
All right. I love it.
Yeah.
It's very covert.
Mm-hmm.
Watch all angry emails come in. What is this shit? All right, well, listen, I printed out all these emails, and now I can't fucking really understand what I did. Here we go. Let's just start. Okay. Look, a long time ago, I think it was 2010 or 11, I went on my friend Jackie Cation's podcast, The Dork Forest, and I had our friend Karen Rontowski read my tarot cards. And I wasn't being honest at the time about what I wanted to ask about because it was very private. And so I was just like, I don't know, you tell me what you see. And this guy basically transcribed the reading and everything has happened. Wow. And but I don't have time. It's like kind of boring to read, but it was not boring for me to read. So thank you, sir. But I'm going to have to find a way to condense it. But today's not that day. But he did say, as an I Seem Funner, P.S. Between you and me, I work at Bevmo, offering Jen Kirkman approved, non-customer harassing customer service, just being straight up helpful as needed, which I know you've mentioned a handful of times. I wanted to let you know in regards to your love of matches that I don't know about the Southern California stores, but here in Northern California, we give matches out with the cigars we sell. So most cashiers have a big box of strike-on-box matches on hand. Wow. That's a fancy kind. Even if they weren't buying a cigar, I've never turned down someone asking for a box of matches or two. Alternatively, if you don't want to be someone who's just mooching matches apropos of nothing, most stores have birthday candles for sale, and lots of cashiers are happy to provide a box of matches with those too. That's a hot take. Thank you, everybody. All right. These are deep. There's like talk about God. Someone's mom is abusive. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where the fun ones are. Let's just go deep. Let's just, you people can handle it. It's almost summer. Everyone else will be like, oh my God, fun stuff. But not here on I Seem Fun. Here on I Seem Fun, we're going to go deep. Okay. High school in the South. Hey, Jen, I've been a fan for a while and was blessed. Well, that's a sweet thing to say. It actually sounds sincere, not like #blessed, to find out you had an entire podcast for me to laugh and vibe with. Oh my God, I've printed this. Oh, I printed the wrong. Ah! Oh, but I have it on my computer. You know what? Guys, look it. I did it wrong, okay? But I brought my fucking computer. I know you're like, why would anyone listen to this podcast? I don't fucking know. But here's why. Because that was so charming. All right, I'm going to go to my listener emails. I Seem Fun listener email episodes. Oh. Whew. Okay, here we go. Hi, Jen. This person has been rejected by a college. I know you're not running an advice column. No, I'm certainly not. But I like how you view the world, and I'd love your opinion. I got waitlisted after being rejected once by the school I want to go to. I'm in community college and living at home with my mom, so not the ideal situation. They put idea situation, but I get what you mean. Why were you rejected from a school, I wonder? Just kidding. That was a cunt move. I feel like there's a large chance that I won't get off the wait list. So I'm wondering if I should even wait around to find out. I've been waiting to find out since February 3rd and now won't know until July. Living in limbo is making me crazy. I need a plan. What would you do? It's been so long since I've gone to college. I don't even remember how this shit works. So you got waitlisted after you were rejected once, and that's the school you want to go to. Okay. July's not that long. I know it took me a while to get to this email, but July is not that long. If this is what you really want, you can wait. You're living with your mom. I'm sure it's not ideal. Are you paying a ton of bills? No. Community college is just fine. You're getting some learning on. Just do what you love. Whatever, I don't know what you're majoring in or what the school is all about that you want to be in. But whatever the reason you want to go to the school for, just read books on that in your spare time. And just July is not a long time. If you are waitlisted again in July, then I don't know, is there another school you want to apply to? Or is it just that one? I mean, I would just keep applying to colleges until you get into one that you want to go to. And if it just comes down to like no one will take you and it's only community college, I would just do that and try to get your own place eventually. But I don't know anything about community college. Can you go to community college in a different city? Like if I live in Boston, can I go to a community college in Denver, Colorado? I think. Find out that and then move where you want to move. But I can't be this helpful because I don't even know what the fuck is happening. All right. Someone talks about, oh God, it's long. Okay. When to bring up no kids on a date. Hey, Jen, feel free to use my name on air. I didn't include it in the email. Anyway, I'm a 30-year-old single guy, and I'm fairly confident I'll never want to have kids. I've only ever really had one long-term relationship, 3 years, that ended 4.5 years ago. Seems normal for your age. Mainly because she wanted kids and I didn't. I wasn't sure if I would change my mind on that down the road, so we decided to end the relationship. I've had a couple shorter flings, 2 to 3 months max, but nothing really serious outside of that. My question is, when, in your opinion, is the right time to bring up with someone you are dating that you don't want kids? Would you just want to state it on the first date, wait until you define the relationship / become exclusive, or some other time? I certainly don't want to wait until we're like a year into it to bring it up or anything like that. But I also worry bringing it up on the first date might be a bit much. Do you know, I have no idea because I don't know what the dating thing is. Like I'm just like, oh, hi, I'm in a relationship. So it's like in the past, anyone I've dated has been from my comedy community. And I've been talking about how I don't want kids since I started in comedy. So if I dated other comedians, they knew because they saw it. So there's really never been, I wonder if there was anyone out of the blue that wasn't somehow aware of my material about that. Trying to think. No. So I don't know. But here's what I would do. Because here's the thing. And I don't mean to be like, you'll change your mind. But you're a guy, so you can change your mind, if that makes sense. Because you can have kids till your sperm runs out or whatever. Look at all these great men who decide to have a baby at 65 with their 20-year-old girlfriend. What a great deal for the kid, you know? Oh, my dad might die before I graduate high school. So anyway, I think parents selfishly think, oh, well, at least I'll be there for my kids' formative years. It's like, but will you? Because you'll be elderly. And then they don't want a parent that's dead at 20. I don't know. But usually these people are famous and rich, so who knows? It's not like, you know what I mean? You're not going to have to clean out your parents' house by yourself at age 19 if you're like Alec Baldwin's kid or whatever. All right, so here's what I would do. Do you use like a Tinder account or something? Because maybe you can put that in your bio, like in a funny way, like, I don't want kids. And maybe you'll meet other people who don't want kids. Because I feel like people who know they don't want kids know what they want to do besides have a kid. Like they might be more prone to traveling or doing certain things. So maybe in a joking way, if you're on any of the apps, as I say, I don't know if you can put a bio on them, but maybe do that. The other thing I would say is, yeah, because what if you, like, let's just say this. Let's say you had a couple dates with someone, but you don't know that this is like the one. And maybe she wants kids, but she'll love you so much that she's like, oh, you know what? I actually don't need them. Like she might change her mind and you guys might be the love of each other's life. Or maybe you will decide like when you're 50 that you're like, oh, you know what? I think I would do it. I don't want to lose her. Like, so I feel like if it's a woman, I would say always be upfront right away that you're looking for someone to make a baby with because you don't have a lot of time. But since you're a guy, it's like, well, you know, I wouldn't waste anyone's time. If someone else brings it up on the first date, I really want kids, you can say, you know what? I've had a relationship end over this. I really don't want them. But if you want to date me until you find the guy who does, like, let's have fun or whatever. I mean, I feel like you just hang out with a person, see how much you like them and worry about it later, but don't lie about it or be vague. I mean, I feel like these are the conversations people have anyway, like just philosophically, like, do you want kids someday? No woman's not going to ask you that, I think. I don't know. But yeah, I wouldn't jump into it because you know why also? I have to tell you, I've dated a few guys that realized they wanted kids and one guy who wasn't sure. And so one of them who wanted kids has them. And the guy that wasn't sure doesn't, but I wasn't sure wasn't enough for me. And so, but the guys I've met that are like super against kids that talk about it right away have always been kind of like failing in other areas of life too. Like, oh, I feel like I keep going in and out. You can hear me though, right?
Yeah, those headphones are a little problematic.
Oh, okay. So I've always feel like, you know, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like someone I met once was like, I don't believe in money. I'm like, okay, well, that's the currency we currently use. And do you think you don't believe in it because you don't make any? And I don't mean enough. I mean $0 a year. So you got to be careful. You know, you got to weed those people out. That is less to you and to me, to my old self. Okay. All right. This one is a doozy. Her sister is in love with a prisoner. Hello, Jen. I would like your opinion on something that has come up. My sister, older by 2 years, started a pen pal type correspondence with a prisoner. It started out as an outreach to specific types of prisoners who are interested in religion. Okay. Sorry, lost my place. The prisoners have to get recommended by another prisoner who has been in the program. You know, Charlie here, I've killed 2 people. Charlie's killed 1. I think Charlie would be a great candidate. I love that the other people vouching for him is another prisoner. Like, oh, okay. Oh, so the rapist who stabbed his cousin, he said that he recommends you? Well, his word is gold. No, I'm kidding. I know people are reformed and not everyone in prison raped someone and stabbed their cousin. Okay. She was told this about a coworker of hers. Back in October is when they started writing to each other, and it was very businesslike, and they only talked about his soul, I think. It was very businesslike. I don't really do the whole religion thing. We were raised Catholic, and she has recently really gotten involved in the church, but I've kept a small distance and everything. Anyway, basically, I'm pretty sure they stuck to him finding out about Catholicism and stuff like that. Okay. Around the end of January, beginning of February, she started getting calls from him, and she would talk about him more and more in a more personal way. She told me at the end of February that she was starting to like him and that they talked at least once a day over the phone and wrote to each other just as often. All right, I'm having so many thoughts. Okay. Only thing he has to do. Okay. And she talked to him more and more. She told me at the end of February that she was starting to like him and that they talked at least once a day over the phone and wrote to each other just as often. He is in prison in Texas for grand theft with a deadly weapon. All right. He has been in prison since he was 15. No. I say no already. I'll tell you why. And is 25. His total sentence is 18 years, but could get released early for good behavior. Okay. No, no, no. I have a feeling by now you have had so many opinions and probably think my sister needs help. So wait, there's more. He is also technically an illegal immigrant. He came to the U.S. when he was about 10. She is afraid that when he gets out, ICE will be waiting for him to take him back to Guatemala and she will never see him. It's possible. She wants to get a lawyer to help him. No. And possibly, if it comes to it, marry him. No, that's the game he's playing, sister. That's the game he's playing. And if he's not playing it, still don't marry him. I have voted my opinion as much as I can, voiced, but I have run out of things to say. At this point in the relationship, they call themselves boyfriend and girlfriend and say, I love you, when they get off the phone. She talks to him so much now, it almost goes up to 3 times a day for hours at a time. She is in therapy. I feel like you might ask that. I don't know if she has talked about this with her therapist, and if she has, I don't know what the therapist has said about it. Yeah, the problem with therapy is you only have an hour a week, and it takes a long time because the therapist doesn't give advice. They let you come to your own conclusions, whereas if you go to JK, I'll tell you exactly what she should do, and she's not going to do it, and you're going to have to get yourself a book about codependency, but we'll get to you later. I don't know if she has talked about this with her therapist, and if she has, I don't know what the therapist has said about it. I have never talked to him on the phone, but have been near her when she has been talking to him. He seems like a nice person that got caught up in gang life at an early age and is now paying for that. But I don't really know. I have even told her that if she took the prisoner part out of the equation, it would still be weird that she was talking to some guy in Texas. I agree. That's a good point. My opinion. I have 2 conflicting opinions. My first one is that I'm so happy that she has found someone what he wants. I have to read it as you wrote it because I can't understand. Is that I am so happy that he has found what he wants in his religion and that he has someone to talk to. My second and most important is she is my sweet, gullible big sister who is being taken advantage of and is going to get cheated out of her money and love. Sorry this is so long, but it's a lot to think about. Well, let me know what you think. I'd like to stay anonymous. Thank you. Like her sister would be listening to this, like, whatever your name is, Sally, there's someone else. You know that podcast you love? Some other listener has a sister who has the same exact prison love life that I do. All right, here's the deal. I don't know how old you people are. That's the problem. This guy's 25. How old's your sister? If she's older than him, no. If she's his age, no. She's got her whole life ahead of her. Here's the deal. And I'm not saying this in a negative way. Religion, especially when you're new to it, can give you a high. It's a wonderful feeling to surrender your sense of that you don't control the universe to something. And it can be really lovely. And especially when you have other people that share your views. It's really bonding. Now, when you say, well, that's what you would want in a relationship, is someone that shares your values. Absolutely. But both of them are high right now. This is drama. This is love drama. This is unreality. And trust me, I had a long distance relationship and it's the same thing. You just don't know someone until you really know them. And you can talk on the phone all you want, but she has no idea what this guy is like in real life. And let's just take everything out of it. He's totally reformed. He's never going to grand theft whatever again. He has not just been, I'm going to the grocery store. Here's me at Christmas. Like there is, no, they are making these big decisions that people who are physically around each other make after years, right? You don't just talk about getting married after 3 months. And to marry someone for anything, like, oh, they need to stay in the country. No. This guy might not even know he's being manipulative, but it might just be in his blood. He's probably so in love with the fact that maybe someone can save him. He doesn't know how to take care of himself. He's a prisoner. He was in prison since age 15. That's the mental age that he still is, unfortunately. And they say when you're a drug user, if you use drugs as a teenager, even if you get sober, all this, a lot of things in your life, you are still a teenager about them because that was the last time that was when you started stunting your development. So his development is stunted and she's not giving herself a chance. And, oh, prisoners deserve love. Let him get out of prison and find love with someone who understands him. She should be, if she's really involved in the church, I mean, duh, don't you think that's where you meet a guy? I mean, I don't know, maybe they're all married or in the closet, but there's got to be one nice guy at the church. I don't know what kind of church this is. Or you said Catholic, but I don't know if is it. Oh, yeah, okay. So it's not like Episcopalian. Not that that matters. Here's what I would do if I were you. Now, here's the details that I would ask you. Do you guys live together? Why are you, if you don't live with your sister, well, it doesn't matter if you live with her or not, but I could see if you live with her that this is annoying because you have to be around it all the time. But I would say that you need to let her make her own mistakes. You can't stop her. And while I think that your first opinion, you don't have two conflicting opinions. You have one opinion, that she's your gullible sister who's being taken advantage of and is going to get cheated out of her money and love. That's your opinion. The fact that you're happy that he found religion and has someone to talk to, that's not your opinion of the situation. That's your feeling about him, and that's lovely. But your opinion of the situation is that. You have one opinion, not two conflicting. There's a world where a lovely man in prison loves your sister, but you don't want them to be together. I don't even think you have to worry about she's being taken advantage of and going to get cheated. I don't think you need to tell her that. I think the other things I said is like, why, what is it in her psyche that's making her want to fall in love with a prisoner? There's intimacy issues there. She wants something she can control. I mean, this is like some women's dream, which is like, she gets to live the life she wants, and then she gets to have the romance of talking to someone every day, but she's not really living a life with him. And she has no idea what he's going to be like with her once he gets out. Right now, he's in prison. He doesn't have anything else to do. She has his full attention. He's probably not going to cheat on her. He's not going to... She has no idea what he's going to be like when he gets out. If he feels he was locked up during his good years, is he going to want to fuck a million people when he gets out? I mean, that's my first thought. And 18 years, I mean, no. Even if he gets out on good behavior, it's still a couple years from now, right? Because he's 25, he's been in for 10. I'm sure he's great and totally reformed. But I just don't think you need to date someone who's currently in prison. If they'd had that in their past, I would not be so like, no about it. But I wrote no times 15 when I was listening. So, and it doesn't matter if she's talking to her therapist. A therapist can't really be like, don't do it. But if I were you, I would check out a book called, hang on. Hang on. Because even if you don't think you're codependent on your sister, which means like you just want her to change what she's doing, maybe just read a book by Pia Mellody called Facing Codependence, what it is, where it comes from, and how it sabotages our lives. And just read it, because even if you aren't a classified codependent, we all have moments in our lives where we are obsessed with getting someone out of a situation they're in, and we cannot stop them. We have to learn to detach with love and keep ourselves sane. So I would just read that if I were you, because I don't think you can worry about this another second, because she is going to do what she is going to do. Someone like her, who's obviously looking for something, right? She's in therapy. She's found religion. She's obviously searching. She's not going to listen to you right now. But I think that you should make very clear to yourself that you've done all you can. Okay, great. All right, this person. Oh, another person about no kids. All right, let's just stay on the topic. Let's just go back to this. This is Kevin. I listened to I Seem Fun since episode 3 was released. You've mentioned many self-help books and a few personally to me. Because of this, I was wondering if you could recommend any more self-help books on any subject. Good luck, Kevin. Well, sure. I mean, I read a lot I probably won't tell you guys about, but it just depends on what angle you want to go at it from. I mean, there's always Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. That's like a little spiritual, whatever. You know, like if you have a cold, what's your sore throat really saying? Marianne Williamson's Return to Love. These are all like the super spiritual hippie dips. I'm currently reading, I was on this podcast called 10% Happier, which is a really great podcast. It's the news anchor on, I think he's on Good Morning America Weekend, Dan Harris. And he was, you know, it wasn't even so much to do with the drinking and the cocaine, but he was like living it up, but not really partying, like more of a weekend warrior who was just like, I must win at life. And he started having panic attacks on air and all this stuff. And he got into meditation. And his book is written so well because it's like, oh, this is stupid. It's like, it's everything you would think. It's called 10% Happier, How I Tamed the Voice in My Head. And he's great. And it's not religious. He's Jewish, but it's like about mindfulness meditation. And it's such a good read. It's just like a great bio too. So I would read that because there's a lot of self-help in it. He has all these great therapists and, you know, like advisors he's talked to, and it's real down to earth, and it's really good. I think you would love it. You know, I'm a big fan of the Panic Attack Workbook. That's another one. I'm not really into self-help books, to be honest with you. I work some spiritual programs, but that's so personal. I feel like it's different for everyone. But if you, Pia Melody always has good books. Like she writes about codependency and intimacy issues. So if you just Google her name in Amazon, you could find anything. I enjoy, you know, like Wayne Dyer. I mean, he's dead now, and I feel like he was kind of a bullshitter, but I don't like anything that's like I'm manifesting and I'm this and that. I like more, he's got a good book, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, Living the Wisdom of the Tao, you know, T-A-O. So if you're not going to read the Tao Te Ching, you can read his interpretation of it, which is really good. And all these stuff is, I think, really what self-help is all about. I know that there are some other self-help books I like. You know, there's like, I guess there's this new one everyone loves called Make Your Bed. It's a bestseller. I haven't read it. I can't recommend it, but you know, I really think for me, it's like anything that's sort of, you know, who I love too is Jack Kornfield. He's a major, he's got No Time Like the Present, Finding Freedom, Love, and Joy Right Where You Are. I think that's coming out later. He's a mindful, co-founded the Insight Meditation Society in Massachusetts in the 70s. He's cool shit. I like that book. People love the book, The Four Agreements. I've read it. I can't really get through it because I think it's too baby, easy. But everyone I know that I really respect their self-help spiritual life loves it. And I'm like, okay, I don't really like it that much, but a lot of people love it. So maybe check that out. I guess that's all I'm going to recommend because I think there's no topic per se as much as it's about getting out of your own ego, don't you think, everybody? And not like I have a big ego, but you know what I'm saying. All right, Kevin, good luck with that. Not having kids. All right. Because of you and your podcast, I've started talk therapy. Ooh, ooh. One more person at the... Oh, by the way, everybody. By the goddamn way. If you want this therapist... hang on one sec. Hang on one sec, you guys. I'm gonna talk to you about something really important. But before I do that, I'm gonna talk to myself and return an email as I do that. And I don't know why. I think that I can scroll and do this at the same time, but I think I'm going to. Are you trying to kill that fly? This is like Mr. Miyagi shit. I wish you guys could have seen what just happened. There is a fly sitting on a... Crazy. 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 That was amazing. But probably not. I don't know the rules. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, I was saying I'm glad this podcast has influenced people to do therapy. And listen, if you can't get to a therapist's office, you know what I'm going to say. This episode is brought to us by our friends at Talkspace. That's right. Talkspace is the online therapy company that connects you with a licensed therapist. Now, here's the deal. The therapist is not going to tell everybody what you're telling her or him. Therapy is confidential. That's what I love about therapy. They can't say shit to anybody. They're not going to write some op-ed piece about, oh, my client came in and said this. Not allowed to. That's what's so great about therapy. It's confidential. You can say whatever you want. You might just find yourself going, I don't even know I was going to say this, but blah. They might ask you questions and you're like, oh, good question. Let me think about that. And then you answer it and you start rolling and you start knowing yourself, and it's great. You've got to take care of your mental health. And we all know that it can be hard to make it to a therapist's office, whether it's too expensive, whether there isn't one in your area. Maybe you don't have a car. Maybe you're anti-car. But that's why I'm always excited that we are brought to you by Talkspace, the online therapy company that connects you with a licensed therapist, not just some jackass, for just $32 a week. You can talk about anything, politics, someone annoying you and your family, if your sister's dating a prisoner, whatever. Talkspace can help. Use the Talkspace smartphone app or website, and you can text and audio message your therapist as much as you want. And for a reasonable additional fee, you can do a video call as well. But sometimes you want to see what they look like. Keep an eye on them. Make sure they're not playing Bejeweled Blitz while they're talking to you, which why would they do that? These are licensed therapists. So don't lose sleep, don't lose your cool, and don't lose out on my special offer, Talkspace.com/Jen, or use coupon code Jen, Jen, and you're going to get $30 off your first month. It's basically like 1 week free, and to show your support for this podcast. Thank you, Talkspace. Anyway. So we've got a listener email here. Because of you and your podcast, I started talk therapy. I realized that there are some things I need help with that I cannot do on my own. That's absolutely right. But here's the thing. You are doing it on your own. They're not doing it for you. You're doing it on your own. It's taken a lot of trial and error, but I found a woman I really like and have progressed fairly well in the few months I've been seeing her. Anyway, on this week's episode, you teased a listener email for next week where someone asked when the right time to tell someone you're dating that you don't want kids is. Oh, I did. And then I never got around to reading it until just now. I don't want kids, and I don't think I'll change my mind about this. I have a wonderful 7-year-old niece and an insane 2-year-old nephew. My love for other humans has been met. When I was 25, I met a man that I decided I wanted to pursue. It's always weird when someone says a 25-year-old is a man. but I guess they are. I decided to tell him before our first date that I was not interested in having children and probably would not want to be married. I do not agree with the outdated institution of marriage where men own women. I see what you're saying. I enjoy that, knowing that someday I'll, can get on someone's health insurance. You know what I mean? I'll get married again.
Say she's doing that on the first date? That's a little rough.
Well, I think she said, I'm not interested in being married or having children. And then I think I do not agree with the outdated institution might be just to me.
Still, all of that's a lot on the first date.
Listen, I agree. And I think most men, to stereotype men, most would be like fine with that. But then when you start talking that way, they don't realize that you're just saying, like, I'm telling you who I am. They're like, why is this person already thinking about all this?
Yeah.
And I think it can be scary. And you can seem like kind of intense when you're doing that.
Yeah. I don't think you want to walk into a first date going, I'm entirely set in my ways.
Right.
So.
Because it also says something about.
Especially when you're 25.
It also says something about who you are. Like, well, what else is she set in her ways about? See, ladies, straight ladies, hot take from Aaron. Don't do that. And you are married, right?
I am.
And your wife did
8 months.
not say that when you first sat down.
No.
Are you guys going to have kids?
Yeah.
And when did you talk about it then for the first time? Was it when you were just dating?
Yeah, definitely.
But did you guys know in general, like, whether it's with each other, but you were both open to kids?
We met on OkCupid, so it's one of the things. It's one of the criteria.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
like,
on
do
the
you want
questionnaire.
kids?
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, that's what I should have told that guy, too. Yeah, if you're on a dating website, I would assume they asked that.
The better ones, yeah. Not Tinder's not going to say that, I'm sure.
Oh, you're right. That's why I don't even know what Tinder, like if you have a bio on Tinder or something.
I don't even know.
Aaron's nodding yes because he secretly has a Tinder. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, I would assume the quality dating websites would ask that because that's something you need to know, but it's like, I don't want to say it right at first. Yeah. Hi, I want kids. Okay, we haven't even ordered yet.
But you can filter out people that are like, yes, definitely.
Filter out the people like me.
Yeah.
These heathens. I mean, I'm not on there, so I'm filtered out anyway, but in general.
Yeah.
These women that do not want to do what the Lord wants them to do. Well, let's see what she says. She says, I do not agree with the outdated institution of marriage where men own women. We had a nice long talk about it, and he felt the same way I did. I guess I did talk about it. And we both decided we could pursue a relationship together. He had previously been in a 4-year relationship with a woman who knew he didn't want these things, and she thought she could change his mind. And she couldn't, and she ended up devastated. He and I have been together for 3 years. Oh, like, we're both wrong about what you shouldn't say on the first date. Guess it worked out. And have recently moved in together. The only thing I envy about mothers is how they can get away with ignoring people and not keeping in touch because they're so busy letting Netflix babysit while they drink venti frappuccinos, chain smoke, and sit on Facebook on their iPhone. Wait, what kind of mothers are these?
Yeah, she's got a lot of opinions.
I don't know if this makes sense or is interesting. The rest of this email will be praise and gratitude, so you could stop reading it on air. Thank you for singing therapy's praise. It has truly changed me and my life. Well, that's great. And I feel so much better when I leave. I'm a big fan. Blah, la, 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 la. How has Dr. Persons been doing? I know that I did that last week, so you already have the answer. We haven't heard from her for a while. I assume she's too busy saving lives. Thanks for reading. Well, there you go. I mean, heads up for therapy. I don't know who these mothers are drinking frappuccinos and smoking, but they sound like a disaster. Even anyone who's not a mother who's doing that, it sounds... I went to Starbucks today, and they're having a special cappuccino free or half off between 3 and 5, and I don't like cappuccino or iced anything. And I've been drinking this coffee since like noon. And I went in, and I was like, can I have a coffee? And they're like, save this thing for between 3 and 5. I'm like, I don't want it. They're like, you might change your mind. I'm like, no, I'm not. It's like a first date. I was yelling.
That's
I'm
okay.
never going to change my mind about Frappuccino. Never. It's an outdated institution.
How about dating for 3 years and then finally moving in?
That's what they said.
What do you think about that, though?
Oh, you think that's too long?
Nowadays, I feel like that's long.
No, I think it's great.
Yeah. Okay.
I think
couldn't
it's great.
imagine it, but
When did you move in?
a year.
I mean, I think a year is, if someone said a year, I wouldn't be like, oh, well, you might want to think about it. The only reason is like I've been married, so that's why I'm like, I'm not going to move in right away. But it's like you never know, like maybe someone had a lease or somebody, like maybe they someone really loved their place, or I don't know. I think 3 years I think that's good. Because for me, like, unless we could buy something unless they, like, let's just say they're the type of people that sometimes when you move in with someone, you stay in the same amount of space instead of going up to the next level. So maybe they've been saving to get like a bigger space instead of, hey, move in with me. And it's someone is up in my closet, that kind of thing. But I do think if it's like, it just depends on how you've spent those 3 years. If it's like been super fun and you're like, I love you, but like as long as we know we're going to spend our life together, let's just make sure. If it's like, you know, those things that like it's always regurgitated in like women's chick flicks, like he finally proposed. It's been 5 years. It's like, well, wait a minute. Why are you so excited that someone that didn't know right away if they wanted you finally did it? You know, if it has that feeling to it, then no, 3 years is too long and you should bolt. Because my sister, my sister was, she listens to the podcast, shout out. My sister and her husband, I think, didn't get married for 10 years. And they're divorced. And me and my ex-husband didn't get married for 6 years. Now, I don't know about my sister and her husband, but I know me, I was definitely, well, it takes a year to plan a wedding, but I was definitely like scared. That should tell you something. So I knew something was awry. Here's a researcher who didn't know I had a podcast. I don't want to get angry, but I might get angry. Feel free to use my name. Greetings from Philly. Ooh, she wrote that. Seeing you at the Truck on September 23rd. That's right, people. I'll be in Philadelphia at the Trocadero Theater on September 23rd. You can get tickets for all my shows, JenKirkman.com. You guys, I told you, buy tickets in advance. I get my numbers every week. Some cities, there's just no tickets sold that week. And I'm like, what? But I mean, every city has tons of tickets that have already sold, but sometimes the numbers don't go up. And I get sad. Because I don't want to be scrambling. And August is my vacation month. I'm thinking of taking a little solo trip to Sedona. I don't know what I'm going to do. But I'm going to tell you people this. I don't want to be doing press for these fucking shows in September. You sell me out in September now. Pretend I'm a successful female comic like all the other ones on Netflix. You know the Ali Wong? She's puts her tour dates on sale, sells out the day of 1,000 seats, then keeps adding. Why can't my fans do that?
They should.
What is up? So September, Philly, Boston, Washington, D.C., New York City, Brooklyn, San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, Oregon, and Vancouver. That's where I'm going to be in September. JenKirkman.com, click tour dates, buy those tickets. Now, there's tons of other cities and tons of other months. Atlanta, Nashville, Asheville, Durham, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbus. This summer, I'll be in Montreal. We're adding Toronto, and we're adding Dallas, Houston, and Austin. So stay on that email blast, JenKirkman.com, click tour dates, see the tour dates, join the email blast, blah, blah, blah. I send it out once a week. It's really written by me, and then I send it off, and someone else does all the shit. So, all right, Philly. I'm 52, never been married, no kids, lots of friends and activities, happily living alone with 2 cats. Missy, she is. I'm a librarian. Stop! You're like I don't mean this in a bad way, but you're like literally like a cliche. Like you go, cats, never been married. Okay. What? You're a librarian too? Like if I wrote you in a movie, people would be like, all right, ease off. That's like 3 stereotypes. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I used to work at a library in college before the internet, everybody. And what was so fun about that was when you started a library card, I had to type in all your info. And we had this weatherman in Boston named Dick Albert. And Dick Albert's son went to Emerson College, and he lived at home with his dad the first year of college. And he gave me all his info, and I knew. I was like, are you Dick Albert's son? And he's like, yeah. And so I had Dick Albert's phone number, and he'd always be on the news like, it's a snow day, you don't have school. And my friends and I would get drunk and prank call him and be like, Dick, like if it was snowing out, we'd be like, Dick, is there going to be no school tomorrow? And he would laugh and laugh. I found out later he was a pothead, so he's probably enjoying it. Anyway, so being a librarian can get you access to some of the hottest, most popular weathermen in town. I'm a librarian, so if the podcast ever needs an official one or a researcher, I'm your gal. You can absolutely be the I Seem Fun librarian researcher, but I don't know your name, but that's okay. I'm a comedy nerd. I know you from Paul F. Tompkins' podcast, Drunk History, your CDs, your Netflix specials, your appearances on shows like At Midnight and Not Safe, which is why I'm embarrassed that I found out about I Seem Fun through a friend from Australia. just earlier this year. Now, what kind of researcher are you? I was crowdsourcing on Facebook looking for a new podcast to follow, and she said, hey, do you listen to Jen Kirkman? Jen Kirkman has a podcast? How did I not know about this? Boy, was my face red. I have since atoned for my sins by going on a binge through all of your podcasts in order. Oh, I love you. Being a fan, I knew I'd love them, and I do. But I think the moment I really went all in was the first time you played Lawrence Welk's Exit music. I was very close to my late grandmother, and we always watched the show together when I spent weekends at her house. I hadn't heard that music since the last time I saw her, almost 14 years ago, and it instantly brought tears to my eyes. Oh, I know. When I was little, my family used to sing good night, sleep tight, and pleasant dreams to you. Na, na, na. Let's play that for you now. Let's make her cry. No, in a good way. Do you like Hallmark Christmas movies? Because if you have a black and white cat and you like Hallmark Christmas movies, I might just move in with you when I'm in Philly and stay there through the Can you hear this? This isn't the ending music, but it's called Champagne Time by Lawrence Welk. What beautiful music to listen to. You know what everyone should do on a first date? Play this song in your car, or if you bring them back to your home, and just go, hi, let's get to know each other more. Oh, do you like this song? Okay. I find that so comforting. Oh my God, do you know how hard it is for me to not be on Twitter right now looking at what's going on? The FBI is raiding something. But this is going to come out in like 2 weeks. So by the time this comes out, we might even have a new president. Oh. And finally, the Librarian did something that I wish everybody else would do. Things that other people find fun that I do not. Disney, video games. I know, I hate video games. I like Bejeweled Blitz, and I mention it jokingly, but I fucking play it. Big parties, televised sports, hate that too. Wine tastings. I've actually never been to one. But I sure like tasting wine, ladies. And Love Actually. Oh my God, I hate that movie.
So not good.
I've tried to watch. Okay, my friend Chris, who actually you guys are going to get to know him on an episode, or maybe you already did, who was here. We love those movies where it's like there's 70 famous people in it. Like there's one called New Year's Eve.
The Gary Marshall film.
The Gary Marshall film. And you're just like, I'm on a plane. I don't look at some attractive people, and I don't know what they're talking about. It's the relationships. Love Actually, I keep trying to watch it like on airplanes, and I'm like, this blows.
It's not good.
And I like Hugh Grant. I think he's charming. I don't care about the plot about him and his weird young Asian assistant or whatever. And then, is that the movie where they do the
cards? The
cards. They stand at the door, and then I liked the Hillary Clinton SNL sketch that they spoofed that with. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But I don't like the. I don't like the movie.
I'm your husband's best friend, and I love you. That's fucking gross.
Oh, is that what the movie's about?
That's what that scene's about.
Oh, so it's about all different couples and different things.
Yeah. And some of them are real downers.
And the only movie I like that's like cheesy rom-com, well, I like a few, but I love My Best Friend's Wedding. Oh, I cry. I like when people don't get their way at the end, but like it's just like nice. And you're like, okay, I get it. She says, things that I find fun that other people don't. Spending time alone, organizing things. Oh, I love to organize. Research. I don't know if I like research, but you do it for a living. Cold weather. Me too. Going into the city. Who doesn't like going into the city? You're singing. How dare you? I was just in New York for 6 weeks. I'm going back. I think by the time you hear this, I might be there. I don't know. I'm going back, and it was raining the whole time I was there, and I fucking loved it because it was like the winter I never got to have, and everyone there was complaining. And I get it because they have winter all the time, but they were so mad at me that I was like, I love it. And maybe I should have just shut the fuck up, but great story. All right, I'm going to do one more before we part here. Oh, wait, let me look at my phone and make sure, because I've got a guest coming in. Do. Afraid it will bite you in the ass. That's my sister. Okay. Let's read a shorty. This guy's crying over something. Okay. Aaron is the hiccups. Okay, let's see. Tarot card. That was something we're going to read about. We're going to go deep and talk about high school in the South. We're not doing it. Okay. Someone asked the airplane mechanic, how do you know if the tires are old? I remember that one. And she responded a while ago, and I'm finally reading it. Hi, Jen. I'm just writing to answer the question you received from a listener regarding the lifespan of aircraft tires. Well, that's kind of an interesting thing because the life of an aircraft tire is based solely on how it looks. When the plane gets checked over at any maintenance interval, including pre-flight inspection, if the tire is showing any sign of wear, like a gouge, oh my God, my eyesight, like a gouge or slice or even a flat spot from a hard landing, it's compared against limits spelled out in the aircraft manufacturer maintenance manual. Generally, with any type of visible damage to the tire, there is a very good chance that tire is changed out for a new one. I've even seen an instance where a new tire was installed and after a hard landing on its first flight was changed right out back again. Flying planes and keeping them safe is an expensive gig. Cheers, Connie. Connie, I feel like you're trying to justify the extra room charges in the seats. Well, that's good to know that you guys are on top of it. I hope Trump doesn't cut any kind of airline mechanic union. Please keep us posted on that shit because I get nervous.
Everything on a plane isn't double, so even if one tire's flat, there's another.
What, right behind it?
Yeah. No, next to it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. But what if both go? What if there's no airline mechanic union?
I mean, that would be nuts.
We'd be all fooked. I'm reading now that they're not going to let it was first like no laptops to like, Middle Eastern places. And I'm like, it doesn't affect me. So, I don't care. Just kidding. But sort of. And then now they're like, maybe no laptops at all in the cabin on international flights. Like, are you fucking kidding? But you could check it? That's so dumb.
Yeah.
If I was going to bomb a plane, that's how I would do it. I would put it in. I can't even take it. This woman is a creepy dental patient. No, I think this is too long. I think we're going to break. I think we're going to end on that. And I'm sorry this was 51 minutes, but you people, you know what? Somebody said, "Hi, Jen, don't use my name. I'm curious what you think of the future is female t-shirts and how you would explain it to men who think it's offensive because it's not inclusive. Thanks." I wouldn't explain it, and I would tell them to get a life, snowflake. All right, until next week, have fun.